Ahoy, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? Hang on, why am I down here? There we go. We got there in the end. Crikey, I've had a morning. You know, you try and stay tough and, physically fit as you get old, but you just can't do it. Old age makes a fool out of us all. It's an adage that everybody's heard, and it is definitely true. Because I spent 2 hours smashing like a shed. Well, it was like a giant wooden climbing frame and a thing attached to it. Spent 2 hours smashing the shit out of one of them with a sledgehammer today. And at the end of it, I looked like I'd been staked out in the garden and bummed by 20 Somalian pirates. So, don't get old is the message, ladies and gentlemen. It's terrible. There's nothing good about it. I thought I was fit and strong and hale and hearty, and knocking something up knocked the shite out of me. So there you go. Which is why I'm going to drink this lumescent red American beverage called Gatorade, which 10 years ago I'd have turned my nose up at. But you get it free from the fridge at work, and it's bright red. So surely that means it's good for me. And it tastes like piss. So brilliant. I love that. Love nothing more than the taste of my own urine to give me a spring in my step. Who's in? Loads of yous already. Gone are the days where 50 loyal, stoic veterans would turn up. Kate in, Modern, thanks very much. And Tess, how are you? Richie Ballinger, Ron Morgan, Ams, Andy Radcliffe, Davey Boy the Codhead, Refuse Nick Sean, Sums Hawk News, now then, Rob W, Rupert. Rupert, there's a Rupert in. Do you talk like you've got 4 sets of testicles in your mouth, Rupert? Yeah, if you don't, well done, you're not a real Rupert. Kirky, Woodmass, Sums, Professor Andy, anybody else I've missed? All right, how you doing? And Sniper Sight, welcome. He's more important because he's got a green thing next to his name. This is apparently how it works nowadays, right? Fur Q as well. All right, mate, how you doing? Right then. Lots of stuff to talk about as usual. I hope you enjoyed my latest one. That was demonetized by YouTube. I was going to put that out 24 hours ago, and they said, no, you can't do that. So that's why I'm a bit late. And that's why, even though now I was saying, oh yeah, I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow, it's actually this one, because YouTube, every single video I make, they're demonetized now. Even if I don't swear, I don't drop any F-bombs, I certainly don't drop any C-bombs. I might point out that some howling, purple-haired Hoover beast with a fucking coach board through a tongue is, well, I'd rather put me cock in me granddad's armpit. But that's not offensive. Like, I mean, that stuff's common parlance, isn't it? Although, common parlance in my house in Middlesbrough, I've since learned that we weren't a typical family. Headbutting your children for banter is not... I think I've told you about this. The last live stream I was spinning some dits about me dad filling us in. And I always remember when I was working at 40 Commando, I was in the incel, and this... No, not incel. I'm sure in this day and age everybody thought I said incel. Intelligence cell. And I was the NCO, the Concor, doing continuation NCO, doing... You go out early to a deployment like Afghanistan or Iraq, and you bed in for like 6 weeks with the locals. And then when your advance party comes out, you've spent a lot of time on the ground, and you're like the guide when they first arrive. And that's what I was doing. So I was at... Yeah, that's a 4-2 shirt I've got on, but this was at 40. And when I was a 40 Commando, obviously you're at your direct officer when you're working in the intelligence sections, a captain. And our boss, nice fella called Lee Galbraith, Captain Galbraith, Galbers, good bloke. And when he left, midway through my draft, a new int officer came in, a lad called Cy Butler. And when Boss Butler came in, he walks in to say hello to everyone. And he was like, all right, lads, how you doing? Shaking everybody's hand. Now then. He was like, boss, I'm Butch, he's a stripey. He's like, that's Matty, there's Richie. He goes, oh, Matty, right. He said, basically, boss, get him to spin you some dits about his childhood growing up in the borough. He said, like, basically child abuse, but you laugh your tits off. And I was like, wasn't child abuse. Whenever he met anyone new, it was like, oh, to get him to tell you some stories of his child abuse. And I was like, I never considered it child abuse. That was just your bog standard northern upbringing, where when you set your lip up, your dad give you a fucking bat. It starts early, right? I told you. I remember being my mate Jonesy. We're walking across the road down the town, and a kid shouted, "Here, gives a fag." And honestly, the kid was about 10. My missus still talks about it because the first time I ever took a drinking in Middlesbrough, we were sat having a beer, and she's only like 21, 20, whatever. And she went, "How old's that kid?" And there was a kid drinking, and he looked about fucking 12. Like, he definitely didn't have any piebs, and he was just drinking pints in a pub in the borough. That's how it was. And this kid shouted to me mate Bones, "Here, gives a fag." And Jonesy said, "Fuck off, you're about 10, aren't you?" And this kid said, "Are you giving me a lip or chewing a brick? Because either way, you lose your teeth." Honestly, he was about 10. He was 10 and he was chain smoking and threatening drunk men with violence at the age of 10, like something from a fucking bad film. But yeah, I always told her, I took a drinking in the borough where I think this was in the Linney at the top of Linthorpe Road, Denise. I used to love it in the Linney because it's a Sammy Smith's house and it's cheap beer. You could get a pint of, fucking hell, I'm showing my age, aren't I? You get a pint of OBB in the Linney in about 2001 for like £1.28 or something. Like, Christ, I am turning into me dad, aren't I? I remember when the beer was cheap, you cunts, like that. That's what I used to take the piss out my dad saying shit like that, and now I am him. Now I'm him. Yeah, I remember when it was £1.28 a pint. I remember when I first started going boozing in the borough in like, what was it? Probably 95, 96 when I was about 15, 16. And it was 89 pence for a bottle of Broon in the Isaac Wilson's in Borough. Obviously, it's a Weatherspoons pub. Fucking 89 pence it was. It was 89 pence for a bottle of Newty Broon and 99 pence for a bottle of Pills, Beck's or Budweiser. Oh, I like the Marine, Davy. I go in the Marine all the time when I'm home. I mean, one of my best oppos lives in Saltburn, my mate Muzzy. And whenever I go home, I always go on the piss in the Marine. So I'll definitely see you in there. Next trip home, I'll see you in the Marine. I'll buy you a pint, seeing as you're a fucking codhead and you're all skinned. Or you act like you're skinned, because you're tight bastards. One of the two. But I'll see you in the Marine. But yeah, I always go to Saltburn every trip home. Last trip I went down there, went on the piss for like 3 days and then got the train back. Dorman Long was still up on it when I was last back in Saltburn. I remember going past it on the train and I took a photo because I sent my dad it. He did his apprenticeship there. And I said, "Oh, this is getting knocked down soon." And I think 6 months later they blew it up. Wasn't that long ago. Isaac Wilson's is still there. Yeah, they've changed the name now though, and it's not a Leatherspoons boozer, is it? I'll tell you a funny story. So the funny thing about them Leatherspoons pubs in the borough, you'd be getting pissed and there'd be kids in there fucking running amok because the parents, fat chavvy parents, would just be asleep in the corner, fucking leathered, and it'd be like 9 o'clock at night and you've got half pissed. And the next thing, there's an 8-year-old kid fucking, "Hiya." I'm like, "Who the fuck are you?" Or like a 4-year-old, like toddler, bimbling around, fucking tugging on your jeans, and you're like, "Why is I being accosted by a small child?" They'll be like, "Oh yeah, because them two pissed chavs in the corners, the mum and fucking dad. That's why." And that happened in the borough, but I'll tell you what, you wouldn't think it'd happen over here in civilized California, but the same thing happens in there's this dodgy, scruffy fucking pizza place in Azusa, I think it is, in LA. It's like a dodgy part of LA. It's called Hungry Howie's. And I was sat in there once because I tell you what, this is kind of weird. I like going on the piss in pizza parlours in America. My fucking brother-in-law thinks I'm a weirdo because when we were living over the road from one called Flams, I used to be like, "Let's go get pissed in Flams." He was like, "What you talking about?" And I took him in there. It's like $10 for a pitcher. You go in places like this, you can always get pissed for cheap. It was $10 for a pitcher of beer, like 4-pint pitcher, $10 on draft. So I used to go in there and get pissed. I'd go in for a pizza and I'd have like 3 pitchers and fucking leave merry. You know what I mean? And I got to know the locals. So I like them, and they always have arcades. It's like a cool thing in America if you've ever spent any time out there. The pizza parlours, we don't really do it in the UK. They're always like pretty big. They have a proper bar with loads of beers, and they have arcades, like a few pinball machines and 4 or 5 different arcades. So I like to go and get pissed in the arcades. It's so different from the UK. The pubs are much better back home. So I like getting pissed in pizza parlours. It sounds super weird, but the pubs aren't as good out here. But the pizza parlours are good. You just get hammered and play video games. And fuck, I went in this shithole one called Hungry Howie's in LA, and there was loads of like fat Mexican people who go in there because it was a buffet, like all you can eat buffet pizza. Fucking, you're cheap. It's so cheap to have good scran and drink in the States compared to the UK now. Fucking cheap to eat and drink out here. And it was always like $9, as much pizza and as much salad as you want, and $10 for a picture. So I used to go in with my missus and fucking all the mates and get rolling while they ate, you know. And this one time in Hungry Howie's, still remember this because I had shorts on, because it's always sunny out here, you know what I mean? I was playing on a driving game, you know, one where you like sit in a booth. And I'm there, you know, swigging me pint, driving, having a good crack. And then I feel like a fucking hand on my thigh. And I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And there was this kid, like a little fat Mexican kid. He was about fucking 3. And he just started climbing up on me. And I was like, what the fuck? So next thing, he's in my lap, this kid, like as if I'm his fucking dad. And I'm driving with like either side of my hands around his fucking head. And this kid's just sit there looking at the screen like that while I'm trying to fucking play the game. And I'm looking around and the mum and dad are just there, don't give a fuck. This fucking little scrot climbing all over me. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. But he was fucking filthy because he's just a fucking chav. It's like the California equivalent of a fucking council estate waller. And then when he fucking gets off me, his hand was so sticky. As he climbed off me and took his hand off my bare leg, it went... It took like there was a fucking handprint on my... There was a handprint just above my knee. I've got very hairy legs. It looked like, you know, the Uruk-hai when Saruman puts the fucking white hand on them. I had the white hand of Saruman off a dwarvish Uruk-hai on my fucking kneecap because this little sticky fucking thing went fucking climbed off me. I was like, ugh. So yeah, Uruk-hai fucking kneecap from a trip to the pizza parlour. That's a story I've told a few times. You get chavs all over the world is what I'm telling you. You can't just have a go at fucking Borough. They get everywhere. Nothing wrong with. Come on, Rachel. I'm not taking the piss out of everyone who's ever lived in a council house. Come on, I'm from Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough is just a council estate with a fucking football stadium in the middle of it. But, you know, normal people, there's a difference between a chavvy scrubber and a normal person that lives in a council house. And lots of chavvy scrubbers do live in council houses, and lots of them don't. But the ones, basically, you can tell who the nice people are, and you can tell who the scruffy ones are, because the scruffy cunts have got sticky children, right? Easy. Sticky. You can live in a council house and not have sticky children, but some of them do, all right? And one of them sticky children has now got very hairy palms. If he went home and his parents will have been like, fucking hell, he started puberty early. He's got more hair on his palms than I've got on the fucking top of my head. Anyway. Rupert must be a real Rupert. What's a council house? Must be. Got a fucking... Our officer at 40 Commando as well, he thrashed us at squash. Absolutely thrashed us. I was gutted. Fucking showed me up and I was like, yeah, because you've got one in your house, you cunt. You've got, in the manor, you've got a squash court. Right, anyway, so I've told enough bollocks. Span you some dits about scruffy bastards and sticky kids. Shall we do some news? If anyone's got any suggestions, feel free to do that in the chat and I'll have a look. Let's have a look on the main page. There's got to be something. More war, deviants and perverts and mutants on Eurovision and Israelis, which are about as European as fucking Gandhi. Don't really understand how that one works. Players get chinned in Malaysia. Who cares? Malaysia, who cares? Hundreds feet dead in Afghanistan. Fucking hell, that's weird. I thought God didn't like pufters. What's he doing killing people in Afghanistan? You know, whenever there's like an incident, they're always like, God that. God did that. Did he? Why didn't he? Why hasn't he wiped Brighton off the face of the fucking earth? Weird, innit? People who blame fucking God for hurricanes and tornadoes and flash floods and earthquakes. You would think San Francisco would be fucking wiped off the face of the earth as well, wouldn't you? Not in the middle of Afghanistan. Surely if the desert god was real, he'd like Afghans, wouldn't he? Logical. Fuck off, BBC. I hate him sending me adverts. I'll have you know I dodged paying my licence fee for at least a decade before I moved to the United States. I should be entitled to read the BBC's shite without seeing adverts, right? After many years avoiding paying the licence fee whilst living in England, I should definitely be entitled to not see adverts on the BBC. Anyway, we tried to wipe out Brighton in 1969. Yeah, so there's loads dead in Afghanistan. Who fucking cares? They need some rain. Look at that van. Actually, is this Afghanistan or is this Abba Dabba Ding Dong Road in the borough? I think this is Abingdon Road in Middlesbrough. I must have clicked the wrong lung. Or is it? No, that is definitely Luton. Is this out? That is outside. This picture's taken outside the stadium in Luton, right? I've clicked the wrong link. This is fucking weird. What am I looking at all these English kids for? English kids. Yes, I'm being sarcastic. Eurovision finalists take it all. In it though, look at all this bollocks. Have you noticed how it's all entertainment? This is what I keep telling you. This is why we're fucked. Because nobody pays any attention. Normies just like get the shite, consume the shite off Sky News and the BBC and get entertained while the scum, the vermin that run the world do as they fucking please and nobody gives a monkey's fart. And then you scroll through the news and it's just, oh, look at this fucking mutant. Oh, look, the football's on. Watch the football. Oh, Djokovic has got a helmet on. Oh, this is news. Weather. Let's talk about the weather. Hang on. Let's talk about the fact that you've just imported 3 million fucking absolute deadbeats. You shit for brains twats. It's ludicrous that nobody cares about what's really going on. But that's the way it is. Israel orders more evacuations as Rafah fighting intensifies. I'll tell you what, you do have to give it the 4B2s for that. Like, they do not fuck about once you piss them off, do they? I thought they would have bowed to international pressure by now. This day and age, we would. You know for a fact, if out like the Falklands went off now, we wouldn't go anywhere near it because we're a nation full of shithouses. And the Americans now, Biden, as soon as they whinged a little bit, he'd back off. But the 4B2s are fucking malleting them. So, yeah, you gotta give them, right or wrong, right? This is what I keep saying. You can agree or disagree. I really don't care, personally. But it's up to, you've got to give them credit for the whole international community turning against them. And they're just like, fuck yous, we're going to twat them all. I mean, fair play to them for that, at least. This is how you need to be. And I'm not even talking about the war in Israel. You just have to do it. For the UK to get saved, they would have to have that type of mentality. You'd have to get a new party get in, someone like Farage, or probably he'd have the no bottle, someone to just take over. Maybe what's his name? Christ, I'm getting old. My brain's not working properly. What's Lee Anderson? Maybe Lee Anderson would do it. But you need someone who just come in and be like, because again, right, what I'm about to say is not even remotely controversial. But the powers that be, the mainstream media in Silicon Valley and Kate Burley and fucking Kathy Newman and all them, they've decided what's controversial. It's not controversial if you think it's not controversial. And the vast, vast majority of the working public would agree with what I'm about to say wholeheartedly. but they won't say it because they've been cowed. It is 1984 shit. They control what you're allowed to talk about. The things Donald Trump said were tame. Not one thing Donald Trump said was far-right rhetoric. Not one thing. He just said things like, you haven't got a real country if you haven't got a real border. Every country has the right to police the border. Every country has the right to deport people, especially criminal, illegal migrants. Every country has the right to do that. That isn't far-right rhetoric. Is it? Far-right rhetoric is gather up every single person who looks like they might be foreign. No procedure. Throw them all in the sea. That's far-right rhetoric that I wouldn't agree with. But have you noticed how now it has turned into everything is far-right? Because this lie, they control the narrative. Nothing Donald Trump said was far-right. Donald Trump's rhetoric was basically boring, normal, conservative rhetoric from the 1990s. Joe Biden and Bill Clinton both said more controversial things than Trump did in the 80s and the 90s. But they decided it was right-wing rhetoric. And it isn't right-wing rhetoric. We got nukes as a deterrent against war, so we import the enemy instead. Yeah, brilliant. Great idea, that. So this is what I'm going to say. So you need someone like Lee Anderson to get up and say, right, I've had enough of this. The statistics are in. These people that come over are almost uniformly fighting age, unvetable men. They lie about where they come from. They lie about the background. They lie about the nationality. They lie about the criminal history. Some of them are going to be good people. Bear in mind, I'm trying to be as reasonable as possible, and because I would say this on television as the fucking Prime Minister. I know that some of them are going to be good, decent people. But unfortunately, we have no accurate, viable manner of confirming the identity of these people. We don't know the criminal history. We cannot know the background accurately. And overwhelmingly, violent crime and all forms of crime are committed by young, high testosterone, high energy men. So unfortunately, we can't accept them anymore. We're going to put 2,000 Royal Marines, 4 naval frigates, and 24 drones in the air, and we are putting a ring of steel on the southeast coast. Nobody is going to come into this. We will not allow it. The second we see them, we will be towing these boats straight back where they came from. That's it. Was any of that controversial? Didn't say hurt anyone. Didn't say injure anyone. Didn't say judge people. Didn't say some of them weren't nice people. Didn't say be cruel to them. That's all you would say. And yet they wouldn't even be able to say that, would they? They wouldn't be able to say it. The media has controlled it so that if you said that, they'd go, far right, hate. He cannot legally be allowed to spew this hate. I already know what they do. Have you seen how many people have been prosecuted now? Sitting politicians, mainstream politicians in the EU. You couldn't say, if I said that, what I just said there, they would say, Lee Anderson said it. They'd be like, that is hate. And hate is criminally prosecutable. No. Parliament privilege, that's not a thing anymore. Not against hate speech. That's what they've done. That's the slither. That was the thin end of the wedge they used to ram this overbearing, obnoxious authoritarianism right down your fucking throat and then grab you by the ghoulies with the same hand. Everything is called hate now. That perfectly reasonable statement would be hate and you would be criminally prosecuted for it. So what I keep telling you is we've already lost. Like, I do not see how you win when we're living in this mishmash of sort of Huxley and Orwell's super state. Like, you can't even say it or you will be prosecuted criminally. Right? You should be, I still agree, I suppose, in principle, that you should be able to prosecute someone if they're literally saying, round up all X and kill them all. They cause all of this problem, hurt them all. If you say that, Yeah, I suppose he should be prosecuted for it because that is actually targeted hatred. But if you just say we're allowed a border, we can't guarantee the safety of our own citizenship, and our women and children's safety must be preeminent. So I'm really, really, really sorry for the nice people and the good people and the genuine people that are amongst these trafficked gangs, these trafficked people, but I cannot guarantee the safety of our women and children. So I regretfully am informing you we are closing the fucking borders tighter than Mother Teresa's knickers. And if you try and get in, you will be fucking deported. And if you pay someone money to smuggle you in, you are throwing your money away. You will not make it. I'm going to have thousands of burly commandos in fast mibs and ribs with drones. You will not get anywhere near the fucking soil of England. So don't even try. Dirty, smelly, scruffy cunts. I'd maybe leave that last bit out. Just my opinion. So it's fucked, isn't it? We're totally fucked. That's what I'm saying. None of this can happen. Jail, they won't locking up. That video I made the other day, I was totally serious. Arresting that lad. Nothing he said was controversial. I agreed with every fucking word he wrote. And I have the right, or at least I used to, when the world was saying, in the United States, I think you still have the right, because the United States isn't quite as much of an authoritarian hellscape as the UK's. But I agreed with every word he said. Are they going to arrest me when I go home? I'll try it. I'll tell you what. I'll find the video. I'll read the fucking story. And I'll tell you I agree with every word he said. Are they going to arrest me? Can they arrest an American? I'm an American citizen now. I wonder if we could get a fancy American lawyer to be like, hang on, you're not allowed to keep our fucking citizen under lock and key for an opinion. Where's the story? I'm sure I put a link in the script, in the sources. Here we are. Yeah, I found it. Here's the story. I want to read it while I'm live because, like I said, I agree with every fucking thing he said. And he was criminally charged and he's been given a suspended sentence. And Sam Mellier in jail for stickers. So I'm telling you, you're living in a fucking authoritarian hell state in the UK. At least we've got that First and Second Amendment to keep the government on the toes out here. You're fucked back there. Abusive emails. So again, I'll recover what he wrote. He said to Sir Keir, oh, Sir Keir, you have to use his honorific. He told Sir Keir, fuck Sir Keir. I won't call him Keir, I'll call him Cunt Lips. If I seen him in the street, I wouldn't call him Sir. Oh, hello, sir. I'd say, ear, knobhead. I hope your fucking dick drops off. Am I not allowed to say that? Serious question. I bet you he could say it to me. Again, I hate this bullshit. Trump just talked like normal people. When Trump said shithole, and they all went, fucking hell, he said shithole. I was like, what, you mean like 99% of the fucking world? 99% of the world is called somewhere a shithole, even if you're posh. Even if you're posh. I bet when the Queen was sat having dinner and she went, oh, one has to take a trip to Nairobi. Phil the Greek went, yeah, bit of a shithole. You know what I mean? It's not like the worst crack ever. And they made out at saying that was bad. Ooh, you can't call somewhere a shithole. It's normal parlance. This is normal parlance that he's been arrested for. I am looking forward to seeing that happen as well. I am. Why do we have to lie? Why do we have to lie? This is what I told you. I'm honest. I don't tell lies. I got told don't tell lies. I really, really try not to. I try not to tell lies. So when someone like Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden or Keir Cuntlip Starmer carks it, I reserve the right to point and laugh like Nelson. Is that against the law? Tell me. Hillary Clinton has died today. Ha ha. Do I have to lie and say, oh, I'm really sad for the family? Remember the good old days where you could say what the fuck you liked? Do you remember? I don't. In fact, shall I show you that? That's one of my favourite videos. When Christopher Hitchens, one of my fucking heroes, goes on telly when asked about Billy. Was it Billy Graham? And they're like, "Oh, you have to say nice things about him." And he's like, "Why do I? Why the fuck do I have to?" It stuck with me because you don't have to say nice things about people. Why do you? Oh, it was Jerry Falwell. Here it is. I found it. Right, so listen to this, right? I'll try and skip to the good bit. And they're like, "Oh, what about his family?" He's like, "Fuck the family. I don't know him. Would I expect my nemesis to say nice things about me?" Oh, yeah, and that's that. Everyone was partying when Thatcher. So I made that point in the video. When Thatcher died, they were like, "Ding dong, the witch is dead. Knees up, Mother Brown. Hello, darling." Fucking Cockney wankers. All the southern fucking fairies down south. "Oh, what a piss on their fucking grave." Yeah, well, they were allowed to do that. They were allowed to do that, weren't they? Because they weren't living in an authoritarian fucking super state. Exactly fucking right. You know, my dad, again, I'm a chip off the old block. He never went to me granddad Fred's funeral. He stayed in the boozer. He said, "I'm not fucking going." Me and my brother went. My mum died, you see. My mum died when I was like 9 or 10. And my granddad Fred was my mum's dad. And my dad always hated him. He said he treated your mother like a fucking slave. So, you know, she got married when she was like 18, left the house. And he just never talked to him. He's like, "What do I want to talk to that cunt for?" And when he died, he never went to the funeral. And me and my brother went in the boozer after. I said, "Fucking hell, I know you didn't get on with him, but you could have went to the funeral." I mean, he was good to me. He was a good granddad. Like, you know, he was always nice to me. So I fucking went. My dad didn't. And when me and my brother were setting the person up and saying, "You miserable cunt, you couldn't even just go for one day for like our Uncle Lee and fucking rest of the family." And he was like, "Fuck him. I never liked the cunt." My dad was like, "If you don't like some cunt, you don't have to go to the funeral." He said, "I never stopped you from going, did I?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." And you know what? Mainly never slagged him off either. He only really slagged him off once I grew up and he told me that he treated her quite bad. Like, he never used to slag him off to me because he was my granddad. And he said that to me when I'm, you know, as an older man. He was like, he was good to you because he was your granddad. He had a soft spot for you. And I remember, you know, playing with him when I was a kid and I liked him. But he fucking didn't like him, so he never went. He was like, "Fuck him, I'm not going." You don't have to say nice things about people fucking when they're dead. You don't have to like politicians. You're within your rights. So this isn't even a fucking crime. Looking forward to seeing a man that has fucked the country, that hates the working class, that despises everything about me. And I'm not allowed to say that I'm looking forward to seeing him curl his fucking toes up. I'll have a fatty on when he curls his fucking toes up. When the likes of Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden and Tony fucking Blair, I will have a 12-hour erection when Tony fucking Blair carks it. I swear, I'll have to go and see the doctor. I'll be like, "Can you do out about this? Out about what, son?" Zip, whoosh, that fucker. Because I've had a fatty on for a week since that rat bastard kicked the fucking bucket. So don't tell me that we have to bastard sign up for this shit. Do you know what I mean? What a load of bollocks. Pig Risers gifted Bootneck memberships. Well done. Don't know what that means really, but yeah, cheers. Thanks, Pig Riser. Innit? It's fucking bollocks. That's fine. That is fine. I'm looking forward to it too. Fucking arrest me. 8-week prison sentence. Well, at least he didn't get banged up for 2 years like Sam Elliott did, for having an opinion. Yeah, and it says Deputy District Jones was told other politicians abused in the emails included Boris Johnson, fat jellyfish, fat albino jellyfish, current Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, little fucking dusky dwarf, I fucking hate the cunt, and former Irish pervert Leo Varadkar. I hate Leo Varadkar. What are you going to do about it? I'm in America. I'm allowed to not like people. Controversial, I know. Controversial fucking opinion. I'm allowed to not like politicians. If you like politicians, I think you're mentally ill. How about that? If someone in the pub, all right, everyone in the pub says, fucking hate politicians, me, he's the sane one. If there was a bloke in there going, tell you what, love Tony Blair, me, everyone would be like, straight jacket, get this cunt 3 rolls of rubber wallpaper and send him off to the loony bin. This, not only is none of this criminal, this is logical, reasonable behaviour. If you like a man that has raped your nation and basically helped criminal perverts diddle your kids, if you like someone that does that, you're a serious mental illness. You're a fucking psychopath. You know, like the type of people who get sexual gratification from like nailing the scrotum to the fucking kitchen table or lowering themselves onto a sharp dildo. Like, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you if you like these people. The evidence is right there. And when I started to calm down, I remember the lockdowns. And I remember getting told I wasn't allowed to leave the house for fucking 6 months. And I remember rage bonnet. Hang on, I need to stop tent pegging my shorts. Fucking couldn't go to the gym for like a year. Like it's my hobby. Like I go every fucking day, and they wouldn't let me go to the gym. So I had to walk up and down 4 flights of stairs at the car park near my house because it's the only thing I could do other than jogging. And I was proper raged to fuck for like over a year. I've told you, look, these long-term followers like Che Wilson know this. Like that's what I did because I could only run and do like whatever exercise I could in a little shitty flat I was living in the middle of fucking LA, which is shit. It's a concrete jungle and you're in a flat. And Ellen DeGeneres is going, oh, it's fine, lockdown for the people's safety, you know. And she's got a swimming pool and a fucking pool court and a private chef and 20 acres of the fucking honking, dirty, filthy fucking hooer. She's got a clitoris like Rocky's Speedball because she's done so much scissoring with 24 fucking hookers on the LA Strip, probably giving them £1 a fucking hour. And these people tell you, oh, it's great, just lock yourself in the house for a few weeks, it's great. It's not great, it's fucking dog shit. It's great if you're a rich cunt and you live in a manor and you've got loads of space and you've got a nice big garden and you can get, why not have a swim? Go on the treadmill in the garage. Perhaps sit in the scullery, you cunts. Yeah, well, try it when you're in a council house or a shitty apartment or a fucking 2-bedroom bungalow in Borough. You rat bastard. Jesus Christ. And then this is what I'm talking about. As soon as I start getting a little bit calm, I remember those fucking stairs and that year in an apartment in LA where I couldn't fucking go anywhere. Everywhere was shut. And I just start to calm down and then I just think of the stairs and I go, kill them all. So this is normal behaviour. What they've done to us, I'm fucking astounded that they aren't queuing up to fucking actually harm them. I'm astounded. Like when I was astounded when I was in Iraq, when they never ran out of suicide bombers. Every week, some fucker blows themselves up and you're thinking, how come they never run out of suicide bombers? Like it's been fucking 10 years and they're just still, every day, trying to blow you up, happily scattering themselves across the fucking battlefield. And I just thought, I know you're not allowed to have a drink, lads, and you've got like 4 fucking mother-in-laws, but why do you just keep queuing up to blow yourself to bits? And this is why I'm angry at the fucking public in the UK being such fannies, because out there, they had a never-ending supply of suicide bombers. And in the UK, not one person has done the same. Like, fuck me. I'm that close to donning a hissing backpack and steaming into the fucking Houses of Parliament. I despise the fuckers. This bloke's tame. Like I said, he doesn't want locking up. He wants a George Cross. He's nowhere near as pissed off as I am. Nowhere near as pissed off. If I bumped into fucking Tony Blair, I'd give him so many fucking combinations, he'd think he was a safe. I swear to God, I'd punch him so many fucking times. He'd think he was fighting a gang. Absolutely. I'd roundhouse his fucking lips clean off. I absolutely hate them. So don't tell me I'm not allowed to say things. All right, I'm not allowed to fucking physically harm them. But don't tell me I'm not allowed to hate. I reserve the right to fucking hate them. I reserve the right. And this is the final twist, the final irony that drives me spare at what these authoritarian scumbags are doing, is they're allowed to do all of it. They're allowed to hate and you aren't. How fucking authoritarian is it when you're not even allowed to hate? Please, God, I just want to hate. That's all I want. I don't want freedom. I don't want democracy. I just want to hate. The women in Afghanistan, the women in Iran being forced to wear a fucking hijab, they're allowed to hate. Oh, they're allowed to hate. All right, they fucking hate them. They're sitting in there and they remember, the 50-year-olds are like, I remember going out in a miniskirt and now I've got a fucking bin liner over my head 12 hours a fucking day. I bet they hate them. Even there, they're allowed to hate. This is how bad it's got in England. The Iranian women are allowed to hate, and the Afghan women are allowed to hate, but you're not allowed to hate. No, you're not allowed to hate. When they import 1 million men and they finger your kids and they blow your wives and children up at the pop concerts and they fill your fucking nation with the detritus of society and they're shitting in the streets and there's needles everywhere and your fucking house is on fire and Mick Philpott's getting fucking 3 squares a day paid for by you cunts, and every can he drinks and every silk cut he smokes, you bought him it, and all of that goes on, and if you literally just go, oh, fucking hate these cunts, they're going, lock him up. Lock him up. If that's fucking sanity, then call me. Welcome to fucking Crazy Town. Welcome to Crazy Town. I'm the king of the fucking mental institution. Fuck me. I despise them. And I reserve the right to do so. And if you want to hate me for it and if you want to lock me up for it, you can do. I was telling, but remember, you're allowed to hold up Trump's head. We all saw the severed head. And you all like to say, oh yeah, is an actor allowed to go and kill the president? And they all laugh, that's brilliant. Literally saying, I'm going to go and kill Donald Trump. And they can all do that. And not only does Johnny Depp say that, they all fucking cheer him on. Oh yeah, brilliant. Yeah, say you're going to go and kill the president. Yeah, brilliant. Kathy Griffin with his fucking skull on the front page of a magazine. Brilliant, that, yeah, brilliant. Yeah, very stunning and brave murder. But if you want to hate them and you're on the right, yeah. Not kosher. Fuck me. I've shot me bolt. I'm done. I'll blow me fucking top. Like, it's stunning hypocrisy. Just because, this is what I keep telling you, it's a mishmash, a complex mishmash of Aldous Huxley and Orwell's ideology meeting in the middle. They're ruling you with the iron-shod boots and the spying and the cameras and the thought crimes and the policing and the batons and the beatings. But they're also using Huxley's, the drugs and the alcohol and the pills and the fucking vapes and the nice coffee and the chai lattes and the Netflix and the internet connection and the amazing video games and the VR headsets and the smartphones. It's a complex mixture of both, and that is why we are totally fucked. Totally fucked. No one has the will to do anything about it because we're being controlled by sort of Huxleyan devices and pleasure and pills and alcohol, and we're also being crushed by the authoritarians. So they can hold your head up and they can finger your kids above a dirty kebab shop for 2 decades and nobody do anything about it. But the second you say, oh, fucking hate Rishi Sunak, well, you're off to jail. So, there we go. If you don't think we're fucked, I envy you. I wish I had your fucking lunatic delusions, because as it stands, we are as fucked as it's possible to get without being personally bent over a casting couch and bummed senseless by Harvey fucking Weinstein. That's just the way it is. Yeah, well, whatever works for you, whatever works. I just do fizz every day. I thrash myself in the gym every day. I did like 200 flights of stairs on a Stairmaster yesterday with no hands. By the end of it, I looked like the fire department had fucking sprayed the machine down. It's the only thing that keeps me sane. It's why I'm still physically fit. Because if I don't work out, I feel like I'd have to get my aggression out in the Houses of Parliament with a fucking meat cleaver. So that's it. Whatever works for you. Keep your sense of humour. That's all that keeps me sane. Physical fitness and a sense of humour. Because we're fucked. You just have to accept it. There's nothing we can do about it. Until everything goes completely tits up, there is nothing we can do about it. All right, we'll call it there, shall we? I'm going to go and do something fucking useful, and my missus said she's going to take me out for lunch because I smashed the shit out of a big wooden thing for 2 hours. So she's treating me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in as usual. Please like and share my last video as long as it remains up. And I actually think I might have to pull this live stream from the archives because YouTube, if they see me going absolutely off it, I think they're just chomping at the bit to fucking delete my account, aren't they? So, yeah, we'll see. I hope you enjoyed my fury for your pleasure. And, oh, shit, I forgot to do a giveaway. I've got some shit, look. I've got some dog shit stickers. There's some there, and I've got some there, and I've got some fucking shit art and fucking stuff I've got here. Anyway, who am I going to pick? Let me have a look. Didn't somebody recently upgrade the membership? That's something I should encourage people to do. Let me have a look. Members. Here we are. Pig Riser rejoined. John Higginson rejoined. Lee Irwin upgraded a day ago. There we go, Lee Irwin. Well done, Lee Irwin. You've won. Fuck it. You can have it. Him. Lee Irwin, you've won. There you are. Happy days. He upgraded his membership so he can have a prize. Lee Irwin, send me your fucking PM me, get me on email or PM on Twitter, and I'll send you some bootneck tat. All right? Thanks for being a follower. Thanks for tuning in, everybody else. And I'll see you all very, very soon. All right? Toodle pip. Cheers. See you later.